over the Suns last night, but his near-perfect night did have one blemish, with Embiid missing the mark on this wide-open windmill dunk.
And what?
Ben Simmons couldn't help but laugh. Coach, you ever miss a dunk in the middle of a game like this? Just when things get really heated and you think you have it?
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes just my ups aren't quite what
Your hops aren't what they used to be?
That Ben Simmons face is classic, man.
Joel Embiid is having some fun.
Yeah.
Philadelphia, watch them, Nick. They're undefeated at home. Only NBA team undefeated at home.
Ooh, good note. Joel Embiid could make that same face back every time Ben Simmons just tries to shoot the ball.
Little shade.
What?
Yeah, little shade.
Out of nowhere.
That's out of somewhere.
Oh. I met with the family, though, Jenna, so we're going to stop throwing as many flames at Ben Simmons. They're watching the show.
Way
to flame them for the last time, Jenna.
Well, way to tell me.
I'll put the bucket of water and put it out.
Really nice.
We did talk about it on the air yesterday, Jenna.
But
you were,
awesome.
You were here in body, but not in mind.
But you're correct, though.
So it was a Monday.
But you're correct.
Thank you. Thank you. I got it back. Back here with Coach Mangini. The Patriots had this past week off, currently sitting atop the AFC East at 7-3. That's nothing new, but that's for another day. They'll take on the Jets this week as they look to make their push to return to the Super Bowl for the third straight season. Tom Brady says everything they want to accomplish is right in front of them. Coach, can the Pats keep pace with the type of offenses you saw in the game last night?
Yeah, I think they can keep pace, and if it's not a function of them scoring the same amount, they'll probably do a better job in terms of situational football, overall discipline, taking away the most potent threats, the things that they traditionally
You mean they're not going to allow Tyreek Hill to line up on the nickelback in the slot and play him one-on-one all over the field? Coach, you sure Belichick and them going to take that away, Coach?
Well,
a free release off the line. Coach, you sure?
Might do that. They might do that. Even when you watched last night and the Rams decided to throw the ball when they could have eaten up the timeouts, you know, those situational things, I don't imagine New England will have the same
Coach is talking about the Rams' last drive of the game after the Pat Mahomes interception.
Robert Woods makes a brilliant play. He's getting ready to go out of bounds because they run a bootleg. He gets on the ground, calls himself down, so they have to burn that time out there. But besides that, there was nothing. Every play they called for the guy to catch the ball and be running towards the sideline.
Yep.
You know, so that's not the way to run. I've never seen a 4-minute drill where they're trying to run out the clock, and they selected those plays that they did.
And it was inside 2 minutes. It was 1 first down and the game's over. And what was most surprising to me about that is running the ball with Todd Gurley is not a give-up play. It's not like we have to throw the ball in order to get a first down. So to your point, the Patriots being smarter situationally, and what the Patriots will never do is commit the penalties the Chiefs often do. Not only the number of them, 13 penalties in the game, but the critical penalties. I texted you during the game. There was a spot where the Rams were in a 3rd and 30, and I half expected the Chiefs on the other side of the field to get some defensive contact penalty, automatic first down, because the Chiefs, while they have a lack of defensive talent, they also don't play the smartest of football on that side of the ball. They're attacking, they're ball hawking, they try to get to the quarterback, but they have some unforced errors. Now, I don't think the Patriots have the athletes that any of these best teams in the league do, particularly with a less than 100% Rob Gronkowski. Maybe they can scheme Tyreek Hill out of the game, but what's so hard about the Rams, the Chiefs, the Saints is even if you scheme their top guy out of the game, they have another A+ skill position guy to come hit you with.
But their Super Bowl teams are never the most talented team in the league. That's not what they do.
No, some teams collect talent. Like that's what they do. They collect talent, and New England builds a team, and that's what they're doing is they're trying to put the parts together. And as the season goes on, especially coming out of a bye week where they've had time as a staff to go back and say, okay, what have we done well? What have we done poorly? What do we need to correct? And then also be able to look at the remaining games on the schedule with a much bigger body of work and assess those things. To me, this is where they gain on other teams in the league during periods like this. And from a situational awareness and a clock management perspective, they're not going to give the other team extra chances. They're going to work the clock as much as possible. They're going to minimize the game or shorten the game when they feel like they're in a bad position.
And I can guarantee in a championship situation, playoffs, winner take all, move on and advance, but they're going to carry the ball more than 20 times. And if they don't carry the ball more than 20 times, there's going to be an exact reason. They're going to throw the ball sideways in short 30 times. So you're going to see that they were trying to control the clock, that they had a theme from the time they stepped on the field, and then they went to a change of pace, something. But you're going to know at the end of the game what they were trying to do. And that's try to keep those quarterbacks off the field, try to keep all those weapons off the field. That's why it's not all about speed. Another thing the Patriots aren't going to do as far as situational football, Tyreek Hill at the end of those games. You think he was making some good plays by trying to return those kicks?
No.
By continuing to go back inside the 5-yard? No, because
wasting clock.
He's taken his own individualness over the team. It's a basic philosophy. You put your heels at the 10-yard line. Stay right there. If the ball goes over your head, you do not move. You can't take your wanting to be an individual because, oh, I got speed, because I got talent. You got to be able to play the game the right way. And New England is going to do those types of things. You score a touchdown late. You point the guy. You give the guy the peace sign as you go into the end zone. 15-yard penalty. Wait a second. It didn't hurt him. It didn't hurt him, but it's something you shouldn't do in a big game like this. You can't give away 15 yards. In championship, winner take all those things become very, very important. So now I can't expect, oh, when we get to the playoffs, that's what they're going to do. No, I think that they're going to do the same things they've been doing during the regular season.
I wasn't going to say the peace sign didn't hurt him because he didn't know it wasn't going to hurt him. He didn't know they were going to have a great kickoff and then a penalty on the Rams on the kickoff. What I was going to say on that is, though, the league should let the Chiefs know or show some consistency. If he's done that on every long touchdown of his entire career, whether a guy's been close to him or not, he's never been flagged. So I don't think that
if the guy's close to you, you're going to get flagged.
Well, he
it
never
is
had
taunting.
I'm just saying he's never. I've seen him do it a half dozen times with the guy right there waving the deuces at him, and he's never been flagged.
I mean, it's definitely the league's fault. It's definitely the league's fault.
I'm not saying it's the league's fault,
that they didn't correct him.
Dude jumped behind the camera last week, too.
That's the league's fault.
No, I'm not saying that's the league's fault. All I'm saying is Michael Thomas, when he grabbed the phone, knew he was getting 15 yards and decided it was worth it. I don't think Tyreek Hill thought he was getting flagged for that. When he jumped behind the camera, he knew he was getting 15
When you're leading league, this is what, when they sit down today, there's certain things. So the reason why Tom Brady did go through, because that's the same thing I would do. We go through every game, and we don't look at to see our splash plays. We look to see where we're bad, so where we can fortify ourselves. And if Kansas City, if they hadn't lost that game last night, I guarantee you they wouldn't be looking saying, hey, you know something, that play right there. We are creatures of habit. That was a huge, huge game. Last week's game was a huge game. When you win, the games get bigger and bigger. So what do the players do? Like, who's going to tell them? Like, when does it get bigger than them that they start?
Andy, when does Andy, isn't that on the code?
Oh, Andy told him last week, and he told him again this week.
Correct.
Got to take a break. Coach, see you a little later in the show. Coming up, how worried should the Warriors be about their 3-game skid next on First Things Sports?
Get out of here.